Currently West Ham are 1-0 up against Leicester, but down to 10 men.
And it's Balbuena. Good evening and welcome to the live reactatory podcast with myself and Jason. So as per normal, we are basically literally reacting live to what's happened today in the world of fantasy football. And to be honest with you, my heart is in my stomach as I'm speaking right now. That Salah double haul of 13 points has basically killed me. But we'll start off by going through the results quickly. So Brighton beat Wolves 1-0. Again, the history. There we are again, the history predicting a 1-0 victory to Brighton. Got that spot on. Glenn Murray with the goal there. Fulham, God, I don't know what's worse, me not bringing in Salah, we'll get into that in a minute, or Fulham's defence. I don't know what's worse, to be honest with you. They lost 3-0. Wilson getting 2 goals. David Brooks with 1. Fraser getting 2 assists in that. Liverpool, of course, the big one here, where a lot of people captain Salah, of course, the most popular choice. 4-1 winners there. Mane getting 2 goals, as ever. Once he's in goal-scoring form, get him in or just do not sell. Salah with 1 goal and 2 assists. Southampton 0-0 against Newcastle, as I predicted. An absolute tripe, that game. Watford continuing their goal-scoring attributes with a 3-0 victory over Huddersfield. Pereira getting on the goal sheet there. And as we speak live, it's Leicester 0, West Ham 1. Balbuena with a goal. I don't think anybody even knows who he is, let alone got in their team. And but Mark Noble down. So I'm not going to go into the mini-league just yet. I'm just going to go straight away to you, Jason. How are you feeling so far?
It's been a great start to the weekend for a lot of people, actually, because the resolute Mane owners who are adamant that they could get just as much value out of holding on to Mane than Salah, then massive props to you guys. And I think there's one bonus point in it now. Mane just getting the maximum bonus 3. So for those who captain Mane, well done. I looking at the rest of the team, I mentioned it last week.
If you want to bring up the team, Jason, so everybody can see what your team is, so we can see it live as we speak. Because as I've worked out already, when we discuss the top 4 in a minute, basically Jason continues. Jason, you will be 32 points as it stands, clear of second place. So yeah, if you want to, Cedric getting you the old clean sheet, and he looks like he's going to get some bonus points as well.
Does he?
Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah.
Wow, that's even better.
That's a bonus as well.
Yeah. I missed out on his points previous week. He's just I think he's going to get bonus 1. Going on to my team, bringing in Richarlison last game week. I actually took a -4, and I did end up getting more points that week than if I'd have kept my team the same. But bringing in Richarlison, I did say last week that it could end up biting me with Fraser being the person I transferred out. And so it all depends. He's yet to play Manchester United, my team. And he could well do something in that game. There's obviously some doubts over Hazard, and Højbjerg didn't play a single minute, didn't even travel with were they playing at home? Didn't even appear at the Stadium of Light. Stadium of Light. Oh my god, I'm editing this out. St Mary's. I didn't even appear at St Mary's. So I'm a little bit light on the bench at the moment. I've got obviously Bennett with 2 points to come on if Hazard doesn't appear, which I was disappointed.
I was speaking with a Chelsea fan at work today, and I just simply asked him, "Will Hazard play tomorrow?" And he's just said yes without question. So I think it's safe. I mean, you talk about players kicking themselves. If you want to show us Lee Phillips' team, who's 5th at the moment, God, again, he took an 8-point hit, but look he got rid of. Right, so the players that he got rid of, No, sorry, the players they brought in were Alisson, 2 points. Kevin De Bruyne hasn't played yet. Maddison, as we speak, has only got the 1 point. Who did he get rid of? Now, this is when I just bang my head thinking, I get really annoyed, and we'll go into my decisions in a minute. I get really annoyed at my lack of not making any transfers.
Oh, man.
He got rid of, well, there's the big story. He got rid of Mane. He got rid of Edison ahead of Tottenham away. I get it, but I don't. It's a waste of a transfer. He got rid of Lucas Moura. I get that, but because of the -8 and everything, he's going to be a total of probably -10 overall. And yeah, not a great deal of transfer work there at all. So if we move on to the interesting team of the week, I think so far, certainly. In case regarding yourself, so it's Ben Towler in second.
Yeah, immediately I saw that the free hit has been played by Ben Towler, and to be honest with you, he's left himself with not much options on the bench. So I mean, Ben Loan, I don't even know if that's how you pronounce. And Connolly. Now the interesting thing is he's decided to go with Willian, and he's done well having the Pereira. But look at the two main standout defenders that haven't played.
How ironic as well. If Holebas had played, Watford, they get a clean sheet as well. The irony in the whole thing. And Robertson, of course, we don't know what effect he would have had on possibly getting a clean sheet on Liverpool today, but. Like you just pointed out, he didn't play. I mean, he's still got 6 players left. He obviously captain Salah. You're 32 points ahead of him. I don't think he's going to make up much. It's going to be down to, as you can see, he's invested heavily in the Arsenal attack tomorrow and Aubameyang and Lacazette.
I'm going to say it right now. I think Crystal Palace are going to hold Arsenal.
Okay. I can't see it.
I think maybe just the 1 goal, but I don't think it's going to be an absolute.
I mean, based on the predictions that we made last Wednesday, and if anybody wants to watch the preview podcast, by all means, just go onto our YouTube page and you'll find that the Game Week 10 preview. But our predictions aren't confident in the Crystal Palace clean sheet at all, let alone a win. Yeah, so I can't see that happening whatsoever. So, Terry's team, he's 30 points ahead of me. He captained Salah. I mean, the top 3 all captain Salah. Well done to you. He's got 5 players left to play.
Firmino, not getting better. Roberto Firmino again, not getting in amongst the goals or an assist. I mean, how many weeks has it been now since he's got points? I mean,
it must be so frustrating.
Game week 5 was the last time he actually got a goal.
And it must be so frustrating for any owners that own a player that plays in Champions League, Europa League, and they actually do something. I mean, I did chuckle the other day when I saw Harry Kane and Lucas Moura score. I mean, I was just like, they don't do anything in the Premier League. When it comes to the Champions League, they do something. So Terry, of course, 5 players left to play. And now on to my team. Now I can talk now about my own mistakes, transfer regrets, everything.
So run us through your thinking this game week. You didn't make any transfers. You went straight in. You must have been confident having your double Liverpool defence going into that game. So talk us through it.
So I did make a Instagram video at Torbay Elite, if anybody wants to follow that particular page, regarding a live team news on what my decisions were. I was confident of a Liverpool clean sheet. Obviously, in fact, the last 2 games I thought, right, the double up on Liverpool defence I'll be happy with that. It will cover Salah's points. But we all know what happened last week. Trent Alexander didn't play, albeit I got Trippier's points off the bench. This week, Robertson doesn't play, and I get 2 points off the bench from Bennett, would you believe? Now, I had 2 transfer debates in my head. It was either take a -8, and that would have involved getting rid of Kane, Richarlison, and Alonso, This was to fund Salah, to bring in obviously Salah, bring in Arnautovic, and bring in Laporte. I didn't do it because I just didn't want to take a hit because I thought my team was good enough for this weekend. Now, I knew Salah would have done something today, but I wasn't expecting a double-digit score, if I'm honest. The other transfer that I was really fighting myself over was, do I get rid of Hennessy for Matt Ryan? Of course, it looks like, and I believe Matt Ryan's going to get 2 bonus points as well. So I've missed out on 10 points there. Now, for all I know, based on what you just said, Arsenal could be shut out by a Wayne Hennessy masterclass.
Yeah, you never know.
I can't see it, and it's one of those where I've completely regretted not taking the -8 because I would have been plus 22. I would have been 22 points up at the moment. Now, admittedly,
So, Steve, the question I want to ask you then, now you've obviously saved your transfer, you've got 2 transfers next week. Are you tempted to bring in Salah?
Right. So everybody knows my thoughts on. Well, everybody knows everybody's thoughts on Salah, which is he worth the money for the amount of points that he's bringing in? Now, there were several decisions in my head going through. Now, if Hazard wasn't injured, I would have captained him. The only reason I didn't captain him is because I was very, very worried that he may not play. If he plays tomorrow against my team Burnley and does what I believe he will do, which is tear us a new one and get, I reckon, me personally, I believe Chelsea are going to win 3-0. I think Hazard is going to get a double-digit score.
Wow.
And my thinking on not bringing him in, Salah that is, not bringing him in, will be justified, personally, because Hazard is matching Salah's points, whatever. That's what I think. However, if Hazard doesn't play,
you've got Mr. Knockout coming off your bench with 0.
With all of 0 points. To be honest, I do think that Hazard will play. I think this back problem is just a bit of a pretend issue, and I think he will play something. But moving forward, this was the best time to bring in Salah. I'm fully aware of this. He had Cardiff, he had Huddersfield. He scored 2 goals, got 2 assists. He actually got bonus points as well, would you believe, as well. Last week, did he get 1 bonus point last week or 2? I forget.
Last game week, I'll have to double check.
I think it may have been 1 bonus point, to be honest with you.
I don't think he did he? No,
I don't know. Well, obviously, he's definitely getting 2 today, no matter what.
Yeah.
As it stands right now, let's just put it this way: I've completely regretted. Do you know what? I think
he didn't get any bonus points just last week.
Oh, he didn't get any last. Okay.
No.
My biggest regret, I think, is probably not taking the -8. Deep down, I'm thinking I really did wish I'd done that. I wish I did that Hennessy versus Ryan, but I'm not too.
The game week's not over yet. The game week's not over.
No, it's not. And
you've got Harry Kane yet to play. I mean, I don't think it's likely that he's going to do anything phenomenal against Manchester City. However, Harry Kane is known to be an explosive FPL asset, and who knows? Who knows if Tottenham do, kind of work Man City out? You bank on him to get a goal or 2. If anyone.
This is the worrying factor, though, as people are probably sick to death of me hearing, but I do look at history a lot. Harry Kane against Man City in the last 6 fixtures, which includes a friendly, has scored 1 penalty and got 1 assist. Sergio Aguero has got 0. He's got nothing in the last 6 versus Tottenham.
Okay.
So my confidence ahead of this game is just. I honestly think that anybody that captains Salah, you've got all the points now. Whatever you get now is just complete bonus. Now I have 6 players left, plus Aguero captain, plus 2 points coming off the bench. This is when it gets really tight. So because Lee Phillips took an 8-point hit, he's going to drop down to 6th. And Connor Lee, if you want to look at Connor's team, he's going to move up to 5th. He'll have 6 players left. He's got Hazard as captain, and he's going to get a Wan-Bissaka off the bench. So there's only 5 points of me ahead. It will be, as it stands tonight, 5 points ahead of Connor in 5th, and 7 points ahead of Lee in 6th. You, Ben and Terry are just flying ahead at the moment. And for me, I'm looking back at it, and there has now been 2 decisions that I've made this season, today being one of them, where I've just blown my ranking. The first one was my wild card in game week 4 or 5. I forget. I think it was the second international break we did. And today, the -8 hit that I didn't take.
As it stands, Simon Bellamy in 8th place is moved up into 8th place. We're looking at 101 points difference between top and 8th at the moment.
Crazy.
Which is, if you imagine, like a couple of game weeks ago, there was like what, less than 50 points, I believe.
Yeah, and the worrying factor is the players that you're bringing in are what everybody's bringing. No matter what I say, you have got the advantage of everything, and I keep saying this. Are you now more? I always keep asking this question. It's prevalent because you're so high up in the overall rankings. Are you still thinking about the Torbay Elite League that we take very seriously, or are you concentrating more on overall rank because it's like, well, I can be a bit cocky now. I can think, well, I know it's early days, and I know what I'm saying is completely ridiculous, but you've won the Torbay Elite so far. That's what I'm just saying. But overall rank, where do you feel you can take this? Because you were just outside the top 1,000, weren't you, or something?
Yeah, I am just outside the top one. I mean, it's very close in the top 5,000 at the moment. I was going to captain Wilson. I was really close to captaining Wilson over Salah because...
Talking of which, sorry to interject, Jason. I mean, it's funny that I've actually done pretty well today. I've only had 3 live I've now got 4 players playing with Madison, but I've got Wilson, Brooks. Do you know what I mean? Brooks didn't even get me any bonus points. So I've actually had a decent day considering I've got no captain or anything.
The downside is your bench, because I mean, nobody anticipated Robson not playing. You got unlucky there. Knockout getting 0 is just a bit of a kick in the teeth.
Waste of a transfer, that's been.
Well, I could see why people got him in. He's a flair player playing for Brighton. I mean, he's getting reduced minutes. I think there must be something going on there. And you've still got your captain to play. And Harry Kane, you could end up walking away from this, this game week, not as bad as you think. I mean, it is looking bad, but anything can happen. You've got a couple of differentials. Wayne Hennessy, you've got to prey on him, keeping Arsenal out, because you've got obviously people above you with Arsenal assets, and who knows.
Yeah, I mean, so let's just have a quick look at our other co-host. It's very rare that Dan is actually able to join us for the live reactory podcast because basically he just doesn't like looking at the results, which is what we respect. But he did his 2 transfers. He got rid of Hazard and Lacazette, which I'm quite surprised at. I mean, admittedly, he brought in Salah and Arnautovic. He took another -4, so at the moment he's plus 26. Are you surprised at him getting rid of Hazard and Lacazette?
Yeah, I am, because he's probably lost value on Hazard. And Lacazette isn't playing bad. I mean, last week, he was very unlucky to not score. I mean, he just didn't have that finesse that he has showed in previous game weeks. But, the Mane-Salah combination has really paid off this week. So he's bound to be happy with that. But yeah, it's very interesting getting rid of Hazard, especially when his fixtures are looking so damn good, and he's not even confirmed to be out. So I'm not sure whether he did it as a precautionary thing because he was thinking that Hazard will be out, whether he did it because he just wanted to free up some funds. But he has obviously brought in Salah to do that. So and downgraded Lacazette. So yeah, and Arnautovic not playing. I think long term that's not going to be a good move. I think this game week it's paid off. Long term, it's probably not a good move.
No, and I mean, I'm just looking at the predictions that we did, and as it stands, me personally, amazingly, I'm doing really, really well. So I got from today's games 4 out of 5 correct. I got 1 spot on. As it stands, I'm getting the West Ham result right. I put a 2-1 victory to West Ham. It looks like it probably. I've got the radio on at the moment. I don't know if it's coming through or not, but it's 1-0 at the moment. And then, as I said, like I'm looking at the other games that I predicted. I'm confident with, as I've already spoken about, a Hazard blitz against us. It's just for me. I mean, I'm stating the blinking obvious. It's just Aguero captain. His away record shocking. His record against Tottenham is shocking. I captain it, and I just know that when we do our review of the game week, it's going to be, Steve-O, why on earth did you even consider captain Aguero? I'm just going against everything. And do you know what? It's my stubbornness to say, Steve-O, every single week you choose your team once the game updates. And I've said this before, and I'm sorry to sound like a broken record, but it's true. That team that you choose after the game updates always does really well, yet the one that you change around kind of fails a bit. Leave it. I have literally left it as what I chose it as, barring Trippier, because originally I went with a 4-3-3 with Trippier playing. Barring that, I've left it on Captain Aguero, barring the change around with Hazard or him as captain. And I really, really do hope that this Aguero captaincy obviously pays off. I just personally don't see it, mate. I mean, the way everything's going so far, to be fair, it's like last week was all the players that nobody owned seem to have been getting points. This week, all the player everybody owns seems to be getting the points. So I'm kind of possibly confident ahead of thing. I mean, what do you think looking ahead to the upcoming games? Are you confident that it may be going the way of the favourites?
So the fixtures going forward, I would say that I would be surprised if it went against our predictions earlier in the week. I think that the Burnley aren't going to be able to hold out the attacking strength of Chelsea. Assuming that Hazard plays, because obviously with him in their team, they do look a lot better than without. I think that it could be a 2-3 goal game, much like what you said earlier on. The fixture between Crystal Palace and Arsenal, obviously, I alluded to earlier on that I think that there's a chance that Crystal Palace can kind of nullify the Arsenal attack to the point where it could be a bit of a stalemate into the second half. It could end up being a 1-goal winner. And it wouldn't surprise me if Arsenal do get that winner. But I think out of the remaining fixtures, if there's any of the remaining fixtures where I think there could be a bit of an upset, I think it'll be Crystal Palace and Arsenal. And the next fixture, obviously, we'll moving past the Man United Everton game, because I think that is going to be a bit of a dull game. Onto the Spurs and Man City, I think that this could be a game where you see a lot of space for both sides to attack into. Man City obviously used to be playing against real defensive teams, breaking them down over 90 minutes. Spurs, obviously with Eriksen back, who knows? Harry Kane could get better service, get in the box. Man City aren't great, I don't think, defending from set pieces. And I think that there's goals in that game. I think there could be goals on both sides. I do think City will win it.
I'm assuming, it's a bit of I say a silly question. It's not a silly question. It's a question to ask you. Are you happy with your Mendy transfer? You got rid of Trippier, there's a bit of a sideways move, I think. I think they're both of, don't get me wrong, I'm fully aware of Mendy's attacking prowess and the fact that actually he's got more chance of getting clean sheets. But are you a bit disappointed in yourself maybe wasting a transfer? Not wasting, but just kind of using up a transfer on a player like that?
I mean, the form of Mendy is unrivaled. I mean, he's getting returns pretty much every game he's played. In fact, no, every game he's played, he's got points. Like I think it's just two games out of his 6 that he's played that he hasn't actually got a goal or an assist. I think that he is going forward a very good asset, and I think Trippier, he's still a good asset going forward. But I like Mendy. I like owning Mendy. I think he's fixture proof. I think you own a player like that because of his attacking potential. You don't necessarily expect a clean sheet every game, even though it is Man City. But you would pretty much put your bet on him getting in and amongst the assists and the action when Man City do get some returns.
Well, I'm hoping. I mean, I think after doing this podcast with you, I've kind of, my heart is slowly coming back to its normal state at the moment, and I feel a bit more confident ahead of the games ahead. But I do think that it normally happens in the world of fantasy football, that is, where... Sorry, I just heard something on the radio thinking there may have been a goal. So,
oh no, really? Let me have a look.
I thought there may have been a goal. There wasn't. But
okay.
It's one of those where I see it as usually each week there's only one big hitting player that does really well, and it's never normally the others. And Salah's got the big hitting points, and everybody else is just gonna settle down and maybe get attacking. I'm not suggesting for 1 minute there's not going to be attacking returns for these players, but based on everything I know on fantasy football, if the majority of points are scored on match day 1, then the preceding fixtures, they normally seem to be really low point scoring. Off the top of my head, I can't think of a time where it's been a big match day 1 and then there's a couple more match days afterwards and I've been given even more points, which are actually differential points. Usually I get normally more points, which most people own the players of. But in this case, I think it's going to be a failed captain for myself and Lee and Connor. And I think you boys at the top and anybody else that captains Salah, you are flaming winning at the moment.
All right, so we'll have to wait and see. But thank you for joining. Thank you for joining me on this week's reactionary podcast. And looking forward to discussing the weekend's results and breaking apart your team on Thursday night.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks to everybody that watched. We really, really appreciate you guys watching. Give it the old thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not. We really appreciate getting up to the heavy standards of 100 subscribers one day. You never know. But me and Jason really enjoy the reactionary podcast. And if you have any comments, observations, questions that you want to ask myself, Jason, and Dan for the next podcast regarding this game week, please leave them in the comments section below, and we'll hopefully be able to get to you when we record it live. So cheers, Jason. Really appreciate it, mate.
Take care. Thank you.